So lately, I was struggling to find ideas of what to do for my next video, but a few days ago, my friend who knows that I really love metal, the music genre of course, not the material, sent me a Tumblr text post saying, when you're feeling affectionate but still gotta be metal, and then it proceeds to have OWO in a very metal font. And I found that really funny, and then an idea sparked in my head where I could try to make the words OWO and OWO into extreme metal shirts. And also as a little side note, you can see that I'm using animated emote character things for this video, and it's my first time using it, so if you guys like it or dislike it, please do tell me in the comments below if I should continue using it or not. So let's get into the video. Now the thing with metal is that the bands within every subgenre of metal have their own style of logos. For this particular logo, I decided to take my inspiration from black and death metal bands. A typical trait with the logos of these bands are tendrils that reach out of the letters, usually resembling branches, roots, spiderwebs, or cracks, as long as it made the words near unreadable. I don't usually use the symmetry tool in Procreate, as I found it quite lazy, but then this logo only looks good when the words are symmetrical, so I decided to use it, though all the little branches that come out of the words are hand-drawn. At this point, I decided that designing a logo wasn't enough, and I decided to expand the design into a full t-shirt. And since OWO is often associated with furries, I chose to draw a wolf, and if you haven't caught on, I'm a furry as well. I ditched my conventional cartoony style for a more realistic one, as all the metal shirts I've seen with animals all depict them more realistically, and in a way they look way cooler. I also decided to match the symmetrical logo with a symmetrical design, and I used the symmetry tool again. And of course, no metal thing is complete without a skull, so I included a cat skull in the center of the two wolf heads. I also chose to take the opportunity to practice my line work and give the drawing more depth by using a style that relies more on line work, which is much more different from what I usually draw. Overall, I think that this design actually came out pretty cool in terms of composition and the art style that I chose to use, but I think that my one singular complaint for myself about this design is the anatomical issues, because I realized after drawing it that the wolf snouts, I tried to attempt it to have a 3/4 perspective, so technically they're supposed to be shorter, but then they ended up looking just like really short snouts, and it didn't really pull off too well, so I should have stuck to a more profile view instead of a 3/4 perspective. I'm actually quite proud of this, and it's one of the first drawings that I've been proud of in a while. So the next drawing is of course to design a shirt for, of course, OWO. I take more inspiration off some heavy metal bands like Black Sabbath and Metallica in terms of the logo, and now you can see that the typography of the logo is actually much more geometric and simplified. And I saw that within most of these heavy metal logos, they tend to have some sort of accessory within their wordings, like a skull or a sword. And I personally really like swords, so I decided to incorporate a sword into my logo. And I again used the symmetry tool to make this logo because I found that one of the key components of a metal band logo is that it's always symmetrical. So now it's time to move the logo onto a bigger canvas and start the proper shirt design. One of my favorite power/heavy metal bands is Powerwolf, who uses a lot of werewolf imagery in their songs, album covers, and of course t-shirt designs. It's literally in their name. I decided to put a werewolf-like creature as the center of my design. I start off with the face, figuring out the proportion and paying special attention to the muzzle area so I don't mess up again. I then move to the body, and I decide to draw him extremely muscled and intimidating, referencing photos for the hand poses and arms to get it right. The line work is similar to the style I used in the previous design, relying more on lines than colors to create texture, light, and shadow. Most heavy metal shirt designs have a lot of color, so I decided to do my shirt design in color as well. And I went with a reddish and warm color scheme to make the design even more aggressive and intimidating, also super badass. I think this design turned out a lot better than the previous one, because I paid more attention to the anatomy and proportion of the creature. I also think that it looks really good in color and definitely looks epic. And since that I really like both of these designs and I'm really proud of them, I decided to put them up on Redbubble for you guys to buy if you guys want to. And the link is in the description. Anyways, thank you for tuning into this video and making this far. If you would like to see more videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. If you have anything you want me to draw, comment below. Bye!